In a small corner of Lagos, there lived a young woman named Cheta. Everyone in her neighborhood knew her as the responsible mother's girl who always had a kind word for everyone. Cheta always carried herself with quiet dignity. Cheta woke up every morning at 5 a.m. Her small room was barely big enough for her two thin mattresses that she and her roommate Ma slept on. The walls were painted a faded pink that had seen better days, with small cracks running along the corners. A single window let in the morning light, and through it, Cheta could see the busy streets starting to come alive. "Mma, wake up, it's morning already," Cheta said softly, gently shaking her friend. "I'm leaving now," she called to Mma, who was finally up and wrapping her colorful wrap around her waist. Wait, just take this," Mma said, handing her a small plastic container. Cheta smiled gratefully. "Thank you so much." The shopping mall where Cheta worked was a 30-minute bus ride away. Cheta worked at a clothing store where she spent her days folding clothes, arranging displays, and helping customers find what they needed. "Hello, Cheta," her supervisor, Mrs. Okafor, said as she arrived. "We have new stock coming in today. I need you to handle that and also cover the register during lunch hours, okay?" Yes, ma, I'll take care of it," Cheta replied. By closing time, Cheta was exhausted. She collected her small pay envelope, another month of barely making enough. Back in her small room, Mma was already preparing a simple dinner of garri and soup. "How was your day?" Mma asked, stirring the pot of soup that contained more water than actual ingredients. "Same as always," Cheta replied, sitting down on her mattress and removing her shoes. "The store was busy, but Mr. Okafor said if I keep working hard, I might get a small raise next month." They ate their simple meal in comfortable silence before Mma suddenly spoke up. "But Cheta, all this hustle with the hustle, are you sure we'll ever be rich?" Cheta smiled. "Why not? Maybe one day I will own that store instead of just working there. And you could have a big restaurant instead of your roadside kiosk. I would have 5 cooks working with me," Mma said, getting excited. "And I'll wear expensive gold jewelry, and everyone called me Madame." They both laughed, enjoying their little game. The next day was Sunday, Cheta's day off. She spent the morning washing her clothes by hand in a plastic basin outside their room. The sun was already hot, making sweat roll down her neck as she scrubbed each item carefully. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was Nonso, her boyfriend. "Meet me in 1 hour," his message read. Cheta smiled. Seeing Nonso always brightened her day. He was a young lecturer at the local university, smart, rich, and kind. They had met when Cheta was helping her mother sell pastries by the university gates. They began walking along the path that circled the park. Nonso was talking about a paper he was working on, but he stopped when he noticed that Cheta was unusually quiet. "What's the problem again?" Nonso asked, concern evident in his voice. Cheta hesitated, not wanting to burden him with her problems. "Babe, I just need money," she finally said, her voice breaking slightly. "I've been saving up to start my own business until last week. My mom said the landlord was about throwing them out and they had no money for the rent. I sent them part of the savings, as if that was not enough. In order to recover, I gullibly fell for one stupid investment stuff that took the remaining money. Why didn't you tell me all this while? I could have helped you. But no, your love for independence was at it again," he said sadly. Cheta wiped her tears with the back of her hand. "I didn't want to be a burden. You do literally everything for me." Nonso pulled her into a hug. "You can never be a burden, Cheta. We're in this together. Remember, I've sent you some money. It's not everything, but it should help." Cheta couldn't hold back her tears. "Thank you so much, thank you." As they continued their walk, Cheta felt a weight lift from her shoulders. With Nonso by her side, perhaps her dreams weren't so impossible after all. Meanwhile, in a different part of Lagos, in a modest but comfortable bungalow, another drama was unfolding. John paced around the living room, his footsteps heavy and angry. The room was well furnished with a leather sofa set and a large TV mounted on the wall. Pictures of him and his wife, Eve, hung on the walls. Eve sat quietly on the sofa, her hands clasped tightly between her lap. She was a pretty woman with a gentle face, though now it was marked with worry and sadness. "You keep saying you love me when you refuse to make me a father." John backed, his voice filling the small living room. Eve paused. Honey, why do you keep saying that? Like I'm intentionally not wanting to give you children," she replied sadly. "Look, I'm not ready for this." John hissed and walked out, slamming the door behind him. Eve remained on the sofa, as tears silently rolled down her cheek. This argument had become almost a daily occurrence in their home. 3 years of marriage without a child had turned John into an angry, bitter man. He owned a shop where he sold electrical appliances, refrigerators, televisions, fans, while Eve worked as a cashier at a bank. But in their second year, when they still hadn't conceived, John had demanded that she quit her job. "That bank job is too stressful," he said. "That's why you can't get pregnant." Eve had argued, but in the end, she gave in. She loved John and wanted to make him happy. After another heated argument, they had finally gone to see a doctor. The results showed that Eve had infections that were preventing conception. The doctor had prescribed medication and told them to be patient. But patience was something John had run out of. After John left, Eve called her elder sister, Ngozi. 20 minutes later, Ngozi arrived at the house. "He shouted at you again?" Ngozi asked as soon as she saw Eve's tear-stained face. "I don't know what to do anymore," Eve said, her voice breaking. "I'm taking the medication the doctor prescribed, but John doesn't understand, and these things take time. He acts like I'm deliberately refusing to get pregnant." Men. There will always be men. But that's not the issue. I'm afraid he might leave me," Eve admitted. "Has he threatened that?" Ngozi asked sharply. "No, but his mother has been calling more often, asking when I'm going to give her grandchildren." "I beg, leave that woman." "And also, what if the treatment doesn't work?" Eve whispered. "Then we'll seek other options. Many couples face this problem. You're not the first or last," Ngozi said as she reached across the table and squeezed Eve's hand. "Why are you so confident like there are still options? You've taken me to literally everywhere," Eve murmured. "My dear, that's how it's done. No? You turn everything upside down until you get what you want," Ngozi, her sister, said, smiling. Eve managed a small smile, grateful for her sister's support. The next morning, bright sunlight streamed through their small window, falling directly on Cheta's face. "Jesus Christ!" Cheta shouted, jerking up. She quickly turned on her phone and noticed she was already an hour late for work. Heart pounding, she hurriedly dressed up and rushed out. Outside on the street, she called Uma. "Uma, why didn't you wake me up?" she lamented, while flagging down vehicles. "Baby girl, I tried, but you are sleeping like you are dead. I left you because you looked so tired. I'm so sorry," Uma replied. "It's okay. Just wait that the witch does not fire me or I'll come for you," Cheta said, smiling. She hung up and flagged down a cab instead of waiting for a bus, hoping to get to work faster even though the fare would eat into her already tight budget. To Cheta's surprise, when she arrived at the store, Miss Okafor completely ignored her lateness. In the afternoon, during a quiet moment, Cheta decided to review her sales record for the day. As she went through the numbers, she noticed something wasn't adding up. Checking again, Cheta realized with horror that someone had scammed her and taken away goods worth 300,000 naira. Her heart sank. She tried calling the number the customer had left, but it was not in service. The address was also fake. After exhausting all possible ways to chase the scammer, Cheta knew she had to tell Mrs. Okafor. Miss Okafor slowly looked up from her phone, her face unexpectedly calm. "Well, that's not a problem. You'll be paying for it, starting from your salary tomorrow," she said, while returning to her phone. Cheta felt the blood drain from her face. "Please, ma, can we wait until next month? I really need the money now," she begged. "Why move it till next month? You're lucky it's just 300k. At least in 3 months, you'll be done with the payments," Miss Okafor said, a wicked smile playing on her lips. That evening, as the other sales girls happily checked their phones for salary alerts, Cheta sat alone in a corner, despair washing over her. How would she survive without her salary for 3 months? How would she help her parents? As she sat there, one of her colleagues, Bimbo, approached her quietly and sat beside her. "I heard what happened," Bimbo whispered, looking around to make sure Mrs. Okafor wasn't nearby. "This is similar to what happened to Nora last year, but we later found out it was Madame that did it to punish Nora." After Bimbo left, Cheta sat in stunned silence. Was this Mrs. Okafor's way of punishing her for being late today? With sudden determination, Cheta wrote a brief resignation letter and left it on Mrs. Okafor's desk. Then she walked out of the mall. Outside, the weight of what she had just done hit her. She had no job now, no way to earn money. Her dreams of saving enough to start her own business seemed further away than ever. Cheta sat quietly at an outdoor cafeteria, her eyes heavy and her heart even heavier. Moments later, A beautiful woman walked up to her. "Good afternoon," she said with a friendly smile, extending a flyer. "We're looking for someone for a contract job. Would you be interested?" The moment Cheta saw it was a job offer, she said, "I'm available, ma." The woman looked surprised by her enthusiasm. "Don't be in a hurry, beautiful lady. You may want to go through it and get back to us later," she said, still smiling. She held the flyer in her hand, reading it over and over as if the words would change. Miss Bloom smiled at her and said, "But you will save your life, my dear. Just write your number here." The next morning, Miss Bloom called. "Hello, beautiful. Are you still interested? But the pay is big, 2.5 million naira. But you must travel and stay away till the baby comes. Neither will you meet the couple. Are you in?" Cheta's throat felt dry. She looked at her small bag of clothes, the tiny room she shared with Uma, and thought about Nonso. She knew Nonso would never agree to such a thing, so she only told Uma, "Are you sure this is right? You want to carry somebody's child? It's risky." "I know, but Uma, this money will help me open my own boutique. I'm tired of suffering. I'll be fine, I will just try." Cheta lied to Nonso that her grandmother was sick and she had to go stay with her for some months. Nonso believed her and even gave her some money for transport. The new location was a small, quiet town. The house was neat with white walls and heavy curtains. The midwife, Mama Neka, was an elderly woman with wrinkled skin and soft eyes. The next day, the procedure was done. Cheta didn't see the couple. She just knew that there was now a baby or babies in her womb that didn't belong to her. They provided her with everything she needed: food, clothes, vitamins, and entertainment. By the third month, Cheta started feeling very uncomfortable. "Mama Neka, my stomach is too heavy. I can't stand. It feels like I'm dying," she complained one morning. The midwife rubbed her back and smiled. "It's normal, my child. Just eat well and rest. Is the baby growing?" Cheta would cry at night. The only comfort during this difficult time was Uma's daily phone calls. "I know it's tough," Uma's voice came through the phone one evening, "but remember what you want. That boutique will be yours. So just remember it and be strong, okay? It feels worse than normal, Uma. I don't know what kind of baby they put in me." Cheta groaned. Suddenly, the call cut. "Hello? Hello?" Uma called, but the line was disconnected. Cheta was in deep pain. She screamed as she pushed. "Push harder, just a little more. I still see one more head," Mama Neka shouted. "One more? You've been saying that. Are you trying to kill me?" Cheta shouted back. "I had no idea you were carrying so many babies," Mama Neka said, sweating. Cheta screamed and pushed until everything went black. She woke up hours later. Mama Neka sat beside her. "You gave birth to 10 babies." "10? Cheta asked weakly. "Yes, but one died. 9 are alive." Cheta was too weak to touch them, but she smiled at their tiny faces. They looked so innocent. Meanwhile, in another state, Eve was on the phone with Ngozi. "What? That's good news. I'll let you know what will be coming." Ngozi smiled, but looked worried. "What will you do with 10 babies? Eve thought for a while. "Well, we'll take till the orphanage can pay for the others." Back in the quiet house, Cheta couldn't walk yet. On the 7th day, she sat in a wheelchair when Mama Neka ran out of the baby's room screaming, "Problemo, wahala deo." Cheta's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" She wheeled herself into the room. All 9 babies were cold and lifeless. "What happened?" Cheta asked, tears rolling down her face. "I swear, my daughter, I don't know. They were fine last night. I'm as shocked as you." "You're a useless midwife. Look at how I almost died because of your ignorance. Now this." Cheta screamed. As they cried and wondered what to do, Miss Bloom arrived. "Okay, alright, now, where are the babies?" Mama Neka's hands trembled. They are gone, madam." Miss Bloom screamed. "No! I asked you if you could handle it. Now you've destroyed my business." She quickly called the couple and broke the news to them. On the other end, Eve fainted. She was rushed to the hospital where the doctor checked and found she was 3 weeks pregnant. Back at the house, Miss Bloom faced Cheta. "I'm so sorry, dear, but since the deal failed, the clients are not paying, so you only get 300,000 naira. Cheta cried and packed her things. She had wasted her time and risked her life for nothing. The sun was setting when she arrived. Nonso was waiting at the park with a wide smile. "Cheta, you're back. My love, welcome," he said, hugging her. Cheta forced a smile, holding back her tears. "Oh, I have a surprise for you," Nonso said, holding her hand. They walked to a shop. Nonso opened the door and said, "Welcome to your boutique." Gasped, covering her mouth. "What? Nonso!" "Don't cry, baby, don't cry. You're saving for a boutique, and I thought, why not do the same? Alright, now it's all yours." Cheta hugged him tightly, tears running freely. "Thank you so much, thank you." Months passed. Cheta and Mma moved into a bigger, beautiful bungalow. Cheta was grateful that things finally turned out well for them.